Hello there, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel, Boomy Reactions. Now we have another foodie video that I'd like to share with you today. So this is quite a strange one for me as a Brit. Well, this video is called Bologna or Baloney, the history of your favourite lunch meats. Okay, so lunch meats in the UK, I have no idea. I've heard of Baloney. I don't actually know what was the other one. Is it Bologna? In the US, you seem to have like endless different names of all of these deli meats that I'm assuming get thrown on sandwiches. We love sandwiches in the UK. I think I read, oh my gosh, what was it? I read a statistic not too long ago that your average Brit has a sandwich for their lunch. Like I think it's like just 5 out of 7 days of the week. We love sandwiches. I think our lunch times are very boring. We do tend to stick with a sandwich for most days of the week. And yeah, we're not very inventive when it comes to lunchtime. But, you know, what do you take to work? What do you take for your lunch? It does tend to end up just being a sandwich most days, and it's very boring. And if you visit our supermarkets, you'll probably notice our deli meats are just as boring. We love ham. There's lots of different ways to have ham, you know, cured meats, breaded ham, honey roasted ham, Wiltshire ham, all these different hams. That's pretty much it. We like a ham sandwich. And the seasoning, yes, you guessed it, guys. It would be not as bold as our American cousins. We like pepper. Pepper's good. Pepper's fine. Nothing more adventurous than that most of the time. So, yeah. You know, we like roast chicken, roast beef. But I don't think we're too adventurous. You know, more recently, you do see a lot more Italian meats that are sold, like pastrami's, bresaola, chorizo, salamis, you know, for the more adventurous amongst us. But yeah, most of the time it's ham or a chicken sandwich, you know, corned beef, but it's not the same. Our corned beef, when we say corned beef sandwich, it's not the same as what you guys would call corned beef. So anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I think you guys have a lot more adventurous different lunch meats. I don't know what some of these are. So let's watch the video, shall we, guys? And as ever, if you are enjoying these reactions, I've spent 2 whole minutes just talking about meat, sandwich meat. If you're enjoying these reactions, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, my lovelies. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. That link is over here. And if you would like to help support my channel any further, I have a Patreon account. And if you want to check that out at all, that link is in the description below.
Who among us hasn't stumbled home after a night out, stepped into the kitchen and opened the fridge only to find it empty, except for a dog-eared package of bologna and half a squeeze bottle of mayo? Do you sulk? Let the refrigerator door swing shut while you mope off to bed? But what is bologna? You eat it, you love it, but can you wax poetic about it? Today on Weird History Food, we're going to talk about the history of bologna.
Baloney. Baloney? Is it the same thing? I don't actually know what this is. We don't have it sold over here. The only reason I have heard it mentioned before is from watching American-based TV growing up. But admittedly, I don't actually know what it is or what it tastes like. And of course, you know, is it like if something is bologna, you know, you hear characters saying it on TV, don't you? Ah, bologna. That's a load of bologna. That's not true. That's a lie, or that's a load of crap. Is that what that means? If something's a load of bologna?
But before we sharpen our knives, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel.
Where does that say
Then leave a comment and let us know what other lunchtime staples you would like to know more about. Okay, time to get to the bottom of my bologna.
Okay, so we're not talking about other lunch meats. This is just strictly bologna. Okay. It kind of looks like the texture of a meat that I don't know if supermarkets still sell this anymore. it's a teddy bear's face. Face meat. So obviously it's like just mechanically recovered. I think it might be ham, some type of pork, and they reconstitute it together and stick it all back together in the shape of a teddy bear's face, in the hopes that obviously children want to eat this. I don't think children should eat this meat because I don't think there's any nutritional value in it whatsoever. What's it called? It's called something like Billy Bear face meat or something like that. Anything called face meat just sounds like the most unappetizing thing on the planet. But, you know, I can hold my hands up and say I probably ate that as a child. Once or twice. It looks the same
What
texture.
it isn't is a mystery meat, despite popular belief. Bologna, or Bologna, or Baloney, whatever your pronunciation, is pork, beef, chicken, turkey, or a combination thereof that is finely ground with fat, salt, and spices. A delicious seasoned meat paste. There might be nondescript trimmings in there, fatty cuts, and butchery byproducts like organ meat, but let's just leave it at that as far as the mystery surrounding bologna goes.
Just quickly, we do have an awful lot of food products, or at least we used to, that were not quite mystery meat, like the narrator says here. You know, there's a lot of different meats that go mashed up and bound together with binders, emulsifiers, whatever. Yeah, we over the years, especially in the 90s, we had an awful lot of those. Turkey Twizzlers were a firm favourite of children. I don't know if you guys had an equivalent of Turkey Twizzlers, but as a child that grew up in the 90s, I will miss them. I will forever miss them. I don't care how bad they were. And they were probably horrendous. They left this oily residue and it was like a fluorescent orange colour. But they were tasty.
The spices can include black pepper, myrtle berries, nutmeg, allspice, celery seed, and coriander, and are identified only as flavorings or spices on the ingredient label.
Okay.
This tasty mixture is shaped into a loaf and cooked and sliced and packaged for your use as a meaty hangover suppressor.
I didn't like the look of the meat paste. That didn't look great. Although saying that, you know, pate, I suppose, looks similar, but it's not fully solidified.
The best meats come in loaves. Ask for Bologna in Italy and the Italians will wince at your pronunciation and then point to a spot on the map in the north-central part of the country.
Bologna.
In Italy, Bologna, not pronounced Baloney, is primarily a city, not a cold cut. And Bologna is where the thick Italian sausage called mortadella originated centuries ago.
Mortadella.
Mortadella, bologna's exalted ancestor, was considered a delicacy.
I've not heard of
It
that.
was made by grinding pork meat into a paste that was mixed with cubed fat and spices, stuffed into a casing, and cooked. The sausage takes its name from the Italian mortaio, or mortar, which was used to break down pork. Its full name is mortaio della carne di maiale, mortadella for short.
Che buona mortadella.
The pigs from
Oh, that sounds a bit sexy, doesn't it? Mortadella.
which mortadella was made were so important a commodity that, as far back as the year 1000, the forests they inhabited were measured not in surface area, but by the number of animals they could support. Mortadella was so prized that an organization of charcuterers was founded in the 1200s to police its method of production. By the 1700s, if you were a salumiere, someone who made salumi, or cured meats, and your mortadella didn't cut the mustard, so to speak, you could be fined or even stretched on the rack. And
No, not the rack. That's extreme. I fully agree. Food is serious business, but that punishment is a little bit extreme.
your inventory could be destroyed. Subpar mortadella, therefore, might have been called something completely different, the name of the town in which it was made, something like Bologna. So why doesn't Baloney look like mortadella? The U.S. Department of Agriculture requires that the ingredients in bologna be comminuted or reduced to minute particles. Thus, the fat and spices in bologna are invisible, whereas those in mortadella are extremely visible and give the sausage an appetizingly mottled appearance. That's right. Hide your shame, bologna. Hide your delicious, delicious shame.
About the pronunciation.
We've determined that our pink paste subject was probably named for the city in which it, or its predecessor, mortadella, was born.
Yeah.
But in Italy, that city is pronounced Bologna.
Bologna.
So why do we call this
Bologna.
sweetmeat Baloney? Linguist Mark Lieberman's theory postulates that anglicized pronunciations of Italian place names like Italia, Sicilia, and Lombardia become clipped.
Well, we just put an E on the end.
So Italia becomes Italy, Sicilia becomes Sicily, and so on.
Lombardy.
Lieberman also points out that the city of Bologna was called Bologna way back in the day. So it sounds plausible that Baloney might be an anglicized version of the city's name.
Bologna.
Baloney.
Other theories cite early Italian Americans' penchant for shortening or changing the pronunciation of Italian words as they imported them into American English dialect. Take, for example, rigat for ricotta or prosciutto for prosciutto. It could be that Bologna was shortened to Bologna, and eventually the Y was tacked on at the end. Or perhaps the pronunciation change was as simple as the influence of the British word blarney, or the widespread Irish name Maloney, both of which would have been common words around the time the pronunciation change happened.
Okay.
Whatever the origin, lexicographer Ben Zimmer notes that the knee pronunciation of the sausage was widely used in the 19th century.
What was that? I don't think lexicographer. What is that profession? What's that?
Around the time other Italian place names were likely being anglicized. A humor piece being published in 1857 referring to Baloney sausage is the earliest example he's found. Sounds like a Chicago beat cop ordering lunch. The point is,
Baloney sausage.
nobody really knows how the change in pronunciation came about. And for that matter, how did the word baloney come to be synonymous with nonsense? Well, that's a whole other subject to sink your teeth into.
That's a lot of baloney.
Baloney. The German touch. Okay.
Despite its Italian lineage, American bologna probably traces its particular ancestry to German immigrants who settled in the Midwest in the 1800s. They brought with them the sausages and methods of production of their homeland, worsts of every variety. The best of the worst, if you will. One
The best of the worst. Such a dad joke.
of these immigrants was Oscar Ferdinand Meyer, who came to the U.S. from Bavaria with his family in 1873 at age 14. And just like that, everyone's ears just perked up. Yeah, that Oscar Meyer. He apprenticed with a butcher and then spent 6 years working in a meatpacking plant. By 1880, he was itching to go into business for himself. He wrote to a brother, Gottfried, in Germany, and encouraged him to take up sausage making. Gottfried apparently liked the idea, learned his chops, pun intended, then joined Oscar in the U.S. The pair leased a failing meat market in Chicago in 1883 and opened up shop. On their first day, they made $59, the equivalent of about $1,700 in today's money. So the company's prospects seemed good. So good, in fact, that when their lease expired in 1888, the landlord refused to renew, thinking he might go back into business for himself and capitalize on the Myers' reputation. Oscar and his brother moved on, borrowed $10,000, and bought their own building nearby. Another brother, Max, came on as the business's accountant. The new venture was an immediate success, with neighbors flocking to the shop for old-world sausages and meat. Over the nearly century and a half since Oscar Mayer has prospered, not only due to its products, but also as a result of its innovation.
What is that advert? It looks like there's a man kind of dancing a bit, suggestively with those meats on a plate. And a woman just looking longingly at him.
Think vacuum-sealed packaging, which prevents waste, or
That's a
pre-sliced
beef
bacon.
Bologna.
Yeah, really think about pre-sliced bacon.
I mean, look how thin that is.
Dancing
See, that's
bacon.
all surface area. The taste has nowhere to hide.
And of course, there was the marketing. In 1929, Oscar Mayer's ubiquitous yellow band trademark made its debut and continues to exist in modified form to this day. The Wienermobile and its pilot, a little person known as Little Oscar, first appeared in 1936 and would
Oh my gosh, what is it? The Wienermobile? And it's driven by a little person? That's adorable. Oh my gosh. I love
Be
it.
a part of the company's promotional strategy for decades. These days, the cheeky Oscar Mayer fleet includes a hot dog delivering Wiener Mini, a Wiener Cycle, a Wiener Drone, and a Wiener Rover, in addition to the classic Wienermobile.
Amazing.
And then there are the jingles. Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer Wiener.
I've heard this.
Sorry, my version may have reminded you of the jingles, so it'll be in your head all day. Maybe this will help.
Yes, I have seen the Simpsons episode of the where they sing the Wiener song, and you know, as a child, or still even as an adult, I've never really questioned what they're singing about. It's just a bit of a catchy jingle.
My Baloney has a first name. Do 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 do. Always wanted to punch that kid.
Oh, why do you want to punch that kid? He's adorable.
Baloney's popularity rose with that of all Oscar Mayer products, but not solely because of the company's success.
Oh, I've got that in my head now. Oh, it's because of The Simpsons. Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I'd truly like to be. Isn't it bizarre how jingles in the US for a bloody sausage managed to get their way across the pond globally because of The Simpsons?
Along with technological advances in the 1920s came a faster pace of business. Lunchtime began to lose its leisurely vibe, giving rise to the sandwich. The New York Times proclaimed in 1924 that the day of the sandwich has arrived. Men have no time to sit around leisurely waiting for large orders. They must grab a bite, preferably wholesome and satisfying, but essentially without delay.
And then at some point in the next 50 years or so, the UK just decided to copy you. Story as old as time.
So instead of a steaming plate of corned beef and cabbage or steak and onions, working men started tucking into shaved ham and cheese with horseradish and mustard between two slices of bread, or more likely, instead of tucking in, wrapping it to go. Unfortunately, the Great Depression struck just a few years later, following the stock market crash of 1929. Suddenly, finding a quick bite to eat for lunch was no longer the problem. Millions of Americans were having trouble finding anything to eat at all. Soup kitchens appeared, with long lines of the unemployed queuing up for something hot. Meat was scarce and expensive. For those who could afford it, bologna was an economical alternative. It kept well and was made of less expensive parts of the animal. That trend continued during the war years of the 1940s when, again, meat was an expensive commodity and subjected to war rationing. In the workplace, sandwiches of bologna and other processed meats such as Spam were common for lunch.
Double-decker bologna sandwich!
Workers might
Now, Spam's delicious. We love Spam in the UK. I don't know about more recently, but we definitely have loved Spam for quite a while. It's been a staple. This is why you guys love it so much. I don't know why it didn't catch on anywhere else. But yeah, we love Spam. And okay, that makes so much more sense. Yeah, it is like just an all-American food, isn't it? I get it, you know. It's how many people has it saved during World War II and the Great Depression? Okay.
then go home
get
for
it.
a dinner of fried bologna. Bologna for every meal of the day was the cure weary Americans needed. Bologna got another boost as a source of fuel for America's inquiring young minds. In the opening years of the 20th century, most school kids went home for lunch. In the 20s and 30s, however, many schools began offering free or low-cost lunches. Since bologna was relatively inexpensive, it became a popular lunchtime staple. Then, in 1946, President Truman signed the National School Lunch Act,
Yes.
establishing lunch programs nationwide. Bologna fit the bill nicely. It was relatively cheap, filling, and easy to prepare, favored by students and harried lunch ladies alike. One concoction that may stand out, especially for school kids in the South, the Bologna boat, a slice of bologna topped with mashed potatoes and cheese. Quite a bowl. The mid-20th century also saw the rise of refrigeration and grocery store refrigerated sections.
The bologna boat actually sounds really tasty.
Convenience foods like bologna, which were packaged in plastic and had a long shelf life, were popular with busy parents too.
Good for you,
But
though.
flavor and freshness do not always equate to a food's health benefits.
No.
For this and other reasons, not everybody is a bologna fan.
I hate bologna, like more than anything else in the world.
No doubt,
course
some of
he
those
is.
school kids
Also
gagged on
proud.
bologna sandwich day. And more than one prison riot has been blamed on the meals inmates are fed, many of which include cold bologna sandwiches, sometimes more than once a day.
I mean, if it's, you know, an American favorite, if it's a staple, I don't think it's horrendous to think that inmates would appreciate a bologna sandwich. They feed school kids bologna sandwiches, or at least they used to. I don't think it's outrageous. Why are they throwing that poor sandwich?
Bologna contains
I'll take
high
it.
amounts of sodium, fat,
Oh.
and disconcerting sounding ingredients like
Oh.
potassium acetate and sodium erythorbate. Potassium acetate is used as a preservative and acidity regulator in food. But another of its applications is as a runway de-icer, icy deliciousness. The World Health Organization has classified processed meats like bologna, sausages, and deli ham as a Group 1 carcinogen, which means that there's evidence that processed meats can increase your risk of cancer, especially of the bowel and stomach. So bologna is probably not an everyday food if you're paying attention to your intake of salt, fat, and preservatives.
It's a hipster meat, is it?
Despite its questionable health benefits and its reputation as cheap processed junk food, bologna still finds its way onto the menu of butcher shops and fine dining establishments across America. Today, there are plenty of places to get high-end bologna. The Midwest is studded with old-world-type sausage makers that sling the meat, like Usinger's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Frick's Quality Meats in Washington, Missouri, Kogel's in Flint, Michigan, and the list goes on. With all that delicious bologna at their disposal, it's only natural that chefs across the country would be putting it to use. Fried bologna sandwiches? We got them. Thick-cut, thin-shaved American cheese or cheddar. What's your pleasure? There are bologna salad sandwiches, German pasta salad with bologna, even mini corn dogs called French poodles, which incorporate that Midwestern classic, ring bologna.
French poodles? They sound so cute and delicious. Why? Question. I know. Question. Why do I've seen a few images of the like a ring, like a cut of bologna being fried. Why do you cut into it? It looks like it's cut into like about 4 times. Is it just to help it cook quicker?
In 2017, Bon Appetit named New Orleans restaurant Turkey and the Wolf the best restaurant of the year. The restaurant's fried bologna sandwich in particular received an extremely enthusiastic review from critic Andy Knowlton.
Well, you know me, the crisp addict, the chip addict. If it's got potato chips on it, just makes the sandwich better. Just
Who
does.
wrote, "Chef owner Mason Hereford's take on a bologna sandwich had nothing in common with the mayo and Wonder Bread ones I grew up eating. In his, 3 slices of locally made bologna were griddle fried, blanketed in American cheese, and stacked on thick-cut, butter-griddled Pullman slices with house-made hot mustard, Duke's brand mayo, and shreddus, what Mason calls shredded lettuce. It was further crunchified with 2 fistfuls of vinegar-brined potato chips."
Yes.
That does sound like a pretty damn good sandwich.
Yes, it does.
Chef Matt Bolus, who runs restaurants in Nashville and Louisville, summed up bologna this way: "Fried bologna is good for your soul. Cold bologna can be just as delicious when done right. I mean, really, all bologna is good for the soul. It's the food of the people. Bologna, the soulful deli meat of the people. What's good for the soul is also good for the complexion.
What?
Right?
What?
Bologna's popularity as a comfort food item isn't limited to menus.
No.
Oscar Mayer is upping its bologna game with a recent foray into the world of skincare with the officially branded Oscar Mayer Bologna Hydrogel Sheet Face Mask. Hey, maybe that de-icer will strip the wrinkles from your complexion.
But Please tell me this is just called a bologna face mask because it looks similar. It doesn't have any of the ingredients in common, right?
An Oscar Mayer marketing exec says the meaty facializer is inspired by those who used to playfully make masks out of their bologna as kids. This product was born as a modern-day way to spark smiles for fans of Oscar Mayer and beauty enthusiasts alike. And hey, if the masks are sold out, you can always make yours the old-fashioned way. So what do you think? Bologna good or bologna great? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other weird history food videos.
Okay. Does bologna taste similar to Spam? Like I said, we like Spam. We know it's probably not totally healthy for you, you know, but having it as a treat isn't going to do you any harm, is it? Don't tell me otherwise if it does. Does it taste like Spam? I want to experience it. I want to know what it tastes like. Okay, and if they cook it in restaurants, you know, there's an element of class still going on with bologna. It sounds like it's been, you know, a staple, a favourite for a number of different generations. So I'm not surprised people still like it. It looks great. It just looks like, I don't know, just like a lunch meat that maybe you shouldn't eat it every day. But, you know, it's fine every once in a while. What's the best way to have a bologna sandwich? What do you have it with? That sandwich with the potato chips looked amazing. But I am a potato chip addict, so anything with potato chips, yep, I'm there. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm starting to understand it a little bit more now. I don't know what I thought bologna was growing up. I think I just assumed it was similar to ham, but it did say there that it was beef bologna. Can you get a ham bologna and a beef bologna, or is it just the same thing? Or I'm confused. I want to try it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.